What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Scales 13. So, you guys have spoken. You said you want to see more Thunder videos? Well, here they are. So, in today's video, I'm actually going to show you guys what I do on a daily basis when I work with Thunder, how I'm trying to build more trust with him, and what I do on a feeding day. So, today is the first day of the feeding day for this guy for the week, right? I'm not going to tell you what day that is just because, that's just information that nobody really needs, right? And what I'm going to do is, I'm going to have Thunder come out of the enclosure as he's eagerly waiting. As you can see, we've done this before. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to have him run around the enclosure. What I'm going to do is I'm going to have him run around the reptile room a little bit, work up that appetite, get some exercise, and have him work with me before he actually gets fed. Now, there's two reasons I do this. One, because when an animal is hungry, they're more inclined to search and look for things, where after the animal has already had its fill, it wants to lie around, it wants to digest, it wants to basically just digest its meal and take a nap, right? So this is the best time I'm going to get to work with him, because after he eats, he's going to want to keep his body warm and basically relax, digest his meal, right? So that's reason number one. Reason number two for doing this: once Thunder has eaten his meal, I want him to be inside his enclosure where he can warm up his body properly and thermoregulate and digest his meal completely. I don't want him to eat and then, even if he wants to interact with me, come out of the enclosure to an environment where, even though it's a decent temperature in my reptile room, it's still not going to be as warm as it is inside the enclosure, where the animal's going to be able to digest efficiently and just have an overall healthier digestion, right? So, those are two reasons I do that. One, for his health. Two, to build trust. All right, so I have my Dubia roach bin right here. So I'm just going to have Thunder run around a little bit, and as you can see, I'm kind of doing what I did before, where I have two large pieces of cork bark in the front of the enclosure, and that's just to give him a more secure exit out of his enclosure. Now, what I mean by that is, and of course, Thunder can easily walk in and out of his enclosure with the door open. He's pretty used to doing that now. We've had this reptile room for a little while now. But I like to give him a space where he can hide for a second, just in case he walks out of the enclosure and I make a mistake. Let's say I make a sudden move. Well, I don't want him to dart to a corner of the room and hide and curl up somewhere where, now all of a sudden, Thunder's scared, and that messes up the trust exercise that we're trying to do here. What I want to do is give him a place where if he does get nervous for a second, he can easily just go inside something, pause, and then come back out and look around. So I'm basically just adding a little extra security for him. Hey, buddy. Hey, buddy. Man, look at that. This is the thing I love about not monitors, but Ackie Monitor lizards, for Acantharis so much, is just look at the head on this guy. Sometimes I look at him from a camera view and even I forget, even though I own Thunder, I forget how small he is sometimes. I mean, look at that body structure. That looks just like a full-size, mid-size monitor to me. And when I look away from the camera, look at him with my naked eyes, I'm reminded how small this guy is. But he's so intelligent and such a blast to interact with. I love this guy. Let's see. What's up, buddy? Let's zoom out a little bit because he's going to look around. There he is. Yeah, you see why I do this, guys? So that way, as he's coming out and he's being careful, he's looking around the corners, he can be inside something that's more secure. Now, what we have here is the Dubia roach bin. So he might start sniffing this because this is where the food is. So this is the place of interest. Hey, buddy. Hey, buddy. Now, what he might do, which I would actually kind of rather him not do right now, only because I have the camera on him, but he might actually run up to me, because he will run up to my hand sometimes, because he is Thunder. And see if I can move over here. And here he comes. Oh, boy. Hey, buddy. Hey, buddy. I'm trying not to have the camera, even though I'm moving this thing, I'm not trying to move it too fast like something's following him, because I don't want him to lose trust in it. I mean, obviously, if you've seen any of my older videos, he walks right up to the camera and puts his face in it with no problem. But same time, I don't want him to think that anything is chasing him or staring at him. Even when I work it with Thunder sometimes, if I notice he's nervous at any time where he stops tongue flicking and if he bolts a little bit, I keep an eye on him, but more from like the corner of my eye, where I don't want to make eye contact, because when I was building trust with him from the very beginning, that's one thing I tried to avoid. I noticed whenever I'd stare at him, he would get nervous, but if I stuck my arm in and then kind of looked away, he was less reluctant to approach me. He would walk up and start tongue flicking on my forearm and things like that, just to see what's going on here. Now, where is this guy? There he is. Hey, buddy. There you are, bud. What's up, bud? Looking good today, man. Okay, so he walked out for a second. Because like I said, I do this quite often with our buddy Thunder here. Yeah, so he's definitely ready to feed. So what he'll probably do now is probably go to his basking spot, warm up his body a little bit. And then once he's done that just once or twice, that's when I get ready to feed. Let's see. Ready to eat, buddy? All right, now what I have right here is my cup full of regular calcium. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to feed this guy his roaches. But since we're doing an exercise today where I'm building trust with him without him actually taking the food from my hands, I'm actually going to throw the Dubia roaches in the enclosure so that way he'll get more exercise. So this is an exercise where I'm building trust with him walking out of the enclosure, but not him walking up to me eating out of my tongs or out of my hands. We've already done things like that before where I've built trust with Thunder, and I'm pretty confident with that. I'm just trying to keep the positive habits of him being used to walking out of the enclosure on his own. And I'm also trying to give some physical exercise to him, rather just mental exercise for my benefit, where he is trusting me and hanging out with me. Now, as I say that, and I get his roaches ready, this little guy just decided to walk out of the enclosure. Let me just keep an eye on him. Where is Thunder? Now, Thunder might be behind my roach bins over here, because there's also Dubias over here. There he is. Hey, buddy. Buddy, there you are. And what we're going to do is we're just going to watch Thunder. He's going to probably crawl right back in the enclosure. Now, that's the bin right now that currently has roaches in it. So you see him sniffing the outside of it. He's probably like, yeah, I want some of those Dubias. Well, that's what he's going to get in a second as soon as he goes back in the enclosure. Thunder. Thunder. Let's see. Thunder, what you doing, bud? I wonder why he's holding still. Just trying to get his attention here for a second. Hey, buddy. What are you doing? Oh, okay, good. He's crawling. Okay. So what I want him to do is go back in the enclosure so that way I can go ahead and give this guy his food so you guys can see a wonderful little dwarf monitor. What are you doing, bud? Chase its food down. Now, of course, even though I'm making this video for you guys, I can't make my animal uncomfortable. It's simply just not fair to him. So I'm doing everything by his terms, like I said in a lot of my earlier videos. Monitor lizard does what it wants, and you are basically the monitor lizard's servant. So to be fair to him, I will wait until he is ready to go back in the enclosure, and then we will start feeding. All right, he's on. I was hoping he would walk right in the door, but now he's on this side of the enclosure. Could coax him in there with food, but I'm actually glad he's just walking around right now. Because, oh, I couldn't request. Stupid Bigsby button. Sorry about that, guys. Stupid camera. Ah, there he is, right there. Awesome. Doing exactly what I would like him to do. That is great. So I guess that cut a little filler out, even though this is a raw and uncut series. All right, guys, you guys ready to see him eat? I'm just gonna put the tripod right over here, and we're gonna toss in a couple dubias and let this guy chase him down. Now, when I toss in my dubias, I try to throw one that I know he's gonna chase down right away, but I try to get the other ones in quickly. The reason I do that is because I want the dubias to run and hide. Why do I want the dubias to run and hide? Because I want him to forage for the dubias. It's not enough for him just to grab them and chase them around. Now, when I do this, guys, the main thing that I want to do is I want to make sure that Thunder is foraging for the food. Oops, sorry, bud. The reason I do this is because Thunder is very fast. A Dubia Roach isn't going to be able to outrun Thunder, but they can hide from him. So, if the Dubia Roach is hidden, that's where the enrichment comes in. That's where he has to work for. There we go. So basically, what he's going to be doing is doing that good old monitor lizard detective work where they tongue flick around with their tongue and they're trying to find their prey. That's where the work's going to come in here. He's not going to get a ton of cardio just from running around chasing roaches. When it comes to an Ackie Monitor speed compared to a Dubia Roach's speed, Dubia Roaches can't compete. So they'll kind of either sit there cryptically or they'll bury themselves in the substrate or... That one didn't do a very good job. And what they'll do is they'll basically just try to avoid him, try to avoid being seen. But of course, with that forked tongue and decent eyesight, the monitor lizard will eventually find its prey and take it down. This Dubia Roach is putting up quite a bit of a fight right now with the predator. But of course, Dubia Roach cannot compete with monitor lizard. He is knocking that. All right, guys. So from what I've counted so far, Thunder has taken down 3 Dubia Roaches very quickly. So there's still one more in here that probably found the best hiding spot in the whole enclosure. And it's going to take Thunder a while to find that guy. That can take anywhere from a half hour to possibly tomorrow for Thunder to find this Dubia Roach. So we're going to go ahead and cut the video here. I hope everybody enjoyed this video. Guys, don't forget to follow the Instagram. That's scales_13. If you follow the Instagram and you send me a message, we can always have a conversation about reptiles there. And we can really share some knowledge on an easier level rather than just commenting back and forth on the videos. That doesn't mean don't comment on the videos. I appreciate that too. But if you want to have a lengthy conversation where we send pictures and stuff, it's easier to do that on Instagram. Everyone have a great day. Peace.